Perfect.
Well, hello, Natalie, Patrice, Tucker, and welcome to, is it Tucker or Parker?
Tucker.
Tucker, yes, sorry. I just suddenly thought I'll say your name wrong. I'm really bad with people's names generally, but I do remember you your name because it's quite an interesting double barrel. How is it, how did you
So
get a double barrel name?
Natalie Patrice Tucker. Well, so my middle name is Patrice. So I was named after Patrice Lumumba, who is the first democratically elected leader of the Congo, the DRC. And I was never let to forget that growing up. And so I use it prominently now.
It's a cool name.
Thanks.
Very cool name. I don't have my parents were rich enough for me to have a middle name because it cost like an extra 10p or something. So I didn't get one. No, well, I don't have one, but it's not true that they couldn't have, well, it didn't cost anything extra, obviously. I was just being silly. But that's me. Okay, so just tell us a bit about yourself, Natalie, because I don't really know much about. I know you work for Nobility. I know that you enjoy having a good time because that's like partying and but I also know that you are heavily involved in accessibility and work with organizations to help make stuff more accessible. So yeah, tell us a bit more.
Okay, great. So Natalie Patrice Tucker, I live in Atlanta, or just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. I have been in Atlanta for about 5 years, but I was raised in Central Virginia and I moved to DC in the early or late 90s to save the world. I moved there to be um, to work in nonprofits. And I started out as a political organizer. And that was hard work. And I wasn't deeply inspired by it. So the tiny little organization I worked for had a database. I taught myself SQL so that we could reach out to our members more effectively and understand um, what their engagement was. And I realized that helping nonprofits with tech was the way that I could um, make a difference. So I started doing an admin in nonprofits, which with constituencies in developing countries, and was asked to build websites or to fix websites, to add things to websites. And so, I was like, sure, like I didn't know a thing about it. And I taught myself XHTML, HTML, CSS, and enough JavaScript to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And this was the wild, wild west of the internet at the time. And I
So sorry,
just
what when was this? What year?
this would be 1999, 2000.
Yep.
So one by one pixel GIFs and JavaScript ninjas and the browser wars.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and so the constituencies that we were building for, that I was building for, had slower internet access, older browsers, things, we have to be concerned about actually getting the word out and being able to communicate with folks. And so I discovered, well, so initially I was deeply in love. I've always been deeply in love with the standards and the standard making body. I devoured the standards. I learned HTML by reading the standards and then by practicing. Like I learned CSS by reading the standard. I learned ECMAScript by reading the standard and trying to parse
Yep.
it, which is daunting. Um, and part of the reason why I think I'm no good I was good. I'm still not as good as I'd love to be. Anyway, so I when the WCAG when WCAG one I discovered WCAG 1.0 and I was like, this is it. This is how like I can make a difference. If people find out about what is possible with the web, access to information, everybody has access to information, blah, blah. I was like, this is it. This is where it's at. So I sort of pivoted to learning more about web accessibility, moved, and because I had been doing work to develop sites that were WCAG compliant at the time, I moved into the federal government to support building websites and electronic documents in the federal government. I was not, I did not love working in the federal government.
Right.
And, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'll just, yeah. I said, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, yeah. And so I reached out to a man whose work that I respected. His name is Tom Babinski. He's an amazing, amazing gentleman.
He's a
And
young guy, isn't he? Well, he
well,
was young. He was young once. No, I just
weren't we
remember that
all?
at CSUN in, I don't know, 2014, that sometime that's where I met Tom Babinski is his name, was with you. And I ended up
Really?
in somebody's room
Yes,
having a party, and that's
yes.
why I said you like party. Um, that because that's my main experience. But we were with a guy called Jason Kiss. I don't know if you remember Jason. Like, and he's just
Yeah.
disappeared. He used to work quite closely on web standards with me in back in the early 2010s. But then he just well, he lives in New Zealand and he's obviously got better things to do, which I don't blame him for.
Sheep now. He's got sheep now.
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah. No, I understand as well. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, sometimes I think, why the hell do I continue to do what I do? Uh,
I feel you. I feel
yeah,
you, especially now. It's an
yeah,
interesting time to be doing
yeah.
that. Anyway, so I reached out to Bob or Tom. I had loved his work, and I reached out to him, and I was just like, "You're doing amazing work. Um, I'm a fan. If there's any way I can be of service, let me know." And he was like, "Wow." Basically, I don't think he'd ever gotten a fan letter before. Uh, and he was like, "Okay, yeah." So he took me under his wing a bit and helped me understand screen readers better. And for context, Tom is blind. He had an accessibility consultancy that was based in Northern Virginia at the time. That's why I was a fan. I was fan of his blog and his work.
Right.
And then so I started doing um, I, I started doing uh, accessibility testing, training, PDF remediation with
But he,
Tom.
yeah,
Hmm?
but he's
And then,
consulting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I worked with another small consultancy, eventually opened my own little consultancy. And then in about 2007, 2008, there was a sea change, as you're well aware, when WCAG 2.0 was starting to come down the pike. And there was harmonization all around the world
Hold on a
around
sec. I just got to go put the dog back in. I don't know.
do it, do
Yeah.
it. I'll keep going.
Hold
Um, there was harmonization around
on.
the WCAG standards, federally, internationally,
Right, we've
legal.
got this. I've got a child gate to stop the dog coming through on the
Oh,
apartment
good.
area, but I just realised that she's worked out there's a there's a hole
Oh,
on the side, and she's worked out how to come through it. So so I have to
that's
block that
tricky.
up now somehow.
Yeah,
But
no problem.
yeah, I mean we've had some problems with the dog because she's on steroids for a arthritic condition, and she she just pisses everywhere. So that's why I'm trying to keep her out of on the wooden floor. Uh, but things are improving there, so I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I lost my train of thought or the train of the conversation because of the dog.
No, no, it's perfectly fine. I was telling you about how, in early 2000 or like the early 2000s, 2007, 2008, there was a sea change that allowed me to work with bigger organizations on, um, and start building teams, start building accessibility programs. So I worked on building ACA portals, which that was when the Obamacare started in the United States, and there were these portals for each state to get folks registered, and I worked on those for a number of states, and then got to work with Benetech, uh, redesigning the Bookshare, uh, worked with Microsoft to build an accessibility program at Bing and Cortana. And
How did
then
so you worked for Microsoft or were
Mhm.
you contracting?
I was a consultant. Yeah, I
And
was a
how long were
contract.
you there for?
A year and a half, a year and 8 months, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never worked for Microsoft. I've never worked for any companies actually, apart from, well, accessory companies. I worked for Vision Australia, then TPG for 18 years, and now Tetralogical.
That's really interesting. I was just thinking earlier about the different, so the nuances of doing this work in different contexts and what that takes and what's required and what you learn inside of that. That's really interesting. That would be a good, you know, uh
Well,
thing to talk
that's
about.
one of the things that I really, because I was speaking with Eric Bailey a couple of weeks back, but I'd saw Eric Bailey at Accessory TO, and he did a really good presentation talk. But one of the things that came through to me was because I've never really grasped the concept of burnout in the accessibility context, but that's mainly because I worked out was because I've always worked in companies where I've been surrounded by other people doing,
Right.
same or similar work, and I've been surrounded by people with disabilities, various blindness or whatever. And so it's just, yeah, I I haven't been in a situation where I've been the only accessory person in the room type thing. Um, it sounds like you have been.
I have very much been, very
Yeah.
much been. And I've also gotten to work with incredible teams. I got to build teams to run accessibility programs. It's, it's an interesting space. It's an interesting space to be in, going from an individual contributor to building teams. I have to say that, of course, it's a lovely experience to work with a group of people who are as engaged and passionate about um, a that works for everyone as I am.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a rare opportunity to get to sync with folks like that, which is why it's lovely to be working with Nobility right now.
Yeah, well, we'll drill down into that a bit um, after I've got the Rogues Gallery going.
Okay.
So, because there's a couple of people on there which I'm sure you'll definitely know because they work at Nobility. Okay, so just bear with me for a moment. This is where I've got to share screen, share now. Oh, it always, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I will. All right, there we go. Can you see all these people?
Okay, yes, I can.
Okay,
And
so
I'm happy to say that you've actually got people in there that I know. I was
yeah,
really
yeah. Well,
scared that
that's
you were gonna have a
well.
lot of people I don't know.
What I try to do is have a look. Like I had a look at who you're connected with on LinkedIn and grabbed.
Okay.
But also, there's people that I know or want to learn more about, and also I threw in a few of the regulars. So top left, Who is that?
Who are you with? That's a tiny picture. It's hard to see.
Okay, hold on. Let me just.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Um,
Did he's always in the top left? It's always him.
so now you're gonna show me. I don't know. Who
It's
is it?
Dr. David Swallow.
Oh, yes. Okay, of course. Okay,
He's
great.
my
Yeah.
he's one of my muses, Dr.
Oh,
Swallow.
wonderful.
He's
Okay.
also he's a very good friend. This
Nice.
picture
Yeah.
was that I recently, a couple of weeks ago, we met in Birmingham, which is in the Midlands of England. It's where all my family actually come from, except me. I was born in Australia, but I've got family, still cousins and stuff there. And so anyway, we I met up with him and Pat for the weekend in
Wonderful.
Birmingham, and that was actually a the original picture um, is actually it's got like a heart thing that goes around it. It's like an installation. And there's me and Dave sitting there in the heart. But you
I think the reason I didn't recognize it is because the picture is so recent. I haven't seen a recent picture
yeah,
of
and also he's got that sort of. He looks a bit like you probably wouldn't know this show called Steptoe and Son, but it's about a rag and bone man. It's an old English series, and he looks like the the old guy in the rag and bone, the Steptoe. But I always try to find some way to undermine not Patrick, David's confidence, and so that I've done. So moving swiftly on, do you know who the next person is?
Um, I
You're
do.
connected to him on LinkedIn.
Yes, the name is is losing.
Mark Marku Hakkinen is his name.
Damn it. Okay, great.
Yeah, he's. I chose him also because I worked with him for a time at TPG many years ago
Nice.
now, and we did some training together in some god awful places in America. But yeah, he's an interesting character. He works at a university in Norway or no, somewhere up there, Sweden, up in
Yeah,
and he does some really interesting stuff to do with haptic and other stuff.
yeah,
He's still active
yes.
and he's an interesting guy. Um, it's interesting, fairly interesting, not as interesting as you or I, but still interesting. Talking of interesting people, who is that next person?
Okay, this is someone whose name it should be on the top of my tongue, and it's not.
That's all
Uh,
right. He's always here as well. That's Patrick.
yes,
Uh, yeah, he's another one of my compadres. And this again was in Birmingham. We were in a coffee shop, and he has this sort of like to have this flourish when he presents food to people. But anyway, that's Pat. And
lovely.
next to Pat
That is my dear friend and colleague, Sharon Rush.
and Sharon Rush. And what is her role at
Sharon Rush is the executive
Nobility?
producer and founder, one of the founders of Nobility. So it's been running Nobility for about 27, almost 30 years.
Has it really? And
Yeah.
is it Nobility that they run a Access U, is it the conference?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
that conference, the call for speakers is happening right now. So if anybody wants to present at Access U, which happens um, in Austin, Texas in May, that's an excellent, excellent opportunity to do that. Great time. But yes, Access U,
Yeah, I've never
Nobility.
been. I know some, people I know have been, says it's a great conference, but I've never been. And it's very unlikely. Well,
Hmm.
there's no chance I'd be going to America at this point in time.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel you.
but I met Sharon several times over the years, and I was actually presented with, I did try to find it, but I got some sort of can't remember, it was like Hero of Accessibility Award from Nobility
Aw.
back in the day. But it was organised by a guy called Rich Svertberger, who used to be part of the Nobility
Yeah,
one.
one of the co-founders. I think Rich and Sharon started Nobility together, actually.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
realize he was that. I knew that he was involved. But
yeah,
anyway, he and I worked closely together during the development of HTML5. And he was my contact. He actually could get stuff put into Jaws screen reader. So, because he
nice.
was CTO of IBM at that point, I think. He's a great guy. I really like. Yeah, I call him the godfather of ARIA because he was one of the instigators of
Nice.
the ARIA spec, etc. But yeah, so
Wow.
because of that, they gave, I think it was at CSUN, and they gave me
Mhm.
an award, and I've got it somewhere, but I don't know where it is.
That's lovely. Well, Sharon wanted me to give you her love, so
Ah, thank you. It's a
yeah.
shame, yeah. I mean, I know that lots of people, or there will be people going to CSUN this year, but and normally it would be something that I would definitely attend. And sadly, it's will be the last time that my good friend Mike Paciello will be attending CSUN.
Wow, really?
Well, he's talking about retiring. You know, he's threatening. But
Hasn't he been threatening for a bit?
yeah, yeah, he has. But I think that his experience
Yeah,
working with Audio Eye and how um, that has been reflected within his relationships in the accessibility community have made him think, well, maybe it's time to exit stage left. I don't know exactly. I plan to have him talk at some point on here, so we'll
great.
get the
Hopefully we'll get the tea. We'll get the truth.
get the exactly. Um, so yeah, so Sharon is the what did you say? She was the head of.
Current executive director of Nobility.
Okay, and
Mhm.
how many people are employed or with?
Nobility is nine, I want to say nine full-time folks.
Yeah.
And then, you know, uh, consultants and the board and advisors and
Did they do
auxiliary
the air
committees.
rally as well?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they
Nobility.
did lots of good stuff. I know that much.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, like 10 or more years ago, 15 years ago, that they were doing some third-party contracting for TPG at the time. And it was when Molly was working there. So that was a
Wow.
good few years.
Nice,
I remember,
nice.
yeah. But so yeah, so even though I've never been to Access U or been involved in the air rallies, I have had experience with Nobility, and I like them. I think they're a good organisation.
Yeah, Nobility has been killing it for a long time. And I think moving into this new phase, I'm really excited to see where things got go. I'm doing my best not to sort of like provide any spoilers or anything, but
Ah, so
I mean
there's changes afoot. You're
there's
saying,
changes afoot. There's changes afoot.
okay. Well, we'll look
Yeah.
forward to well, hopefully that there are positive changes, and we'll
Yeah.
look forward to finding out at the appropriate moment. Uh, so.
Great.
So there's nine people who work there, or nine, and so there's Sharon, yourself, and who else?
Julie, who is on this list, we have a
Ah,
guy
Julie. Yes, yes.
named there's also, I don't know, Jen Sorley, uh,
Oh, yeah,
Jill,
yeah.
Jillian Fortin, um, and people's last name I can't, it's slipping my mind, but
It sounds like there's mostly women that work there. which is not a bad thing.
You know what? I think you're right. I think a lot of the full-time folks are women, and a number of the consultant folks are men.
Ah, okay.
And
Interesting.
that's not entirely true, but because but anyway, yeah,
I
there's
mean,
not.
as you know, in regards to representation in the workforce, um, I think the accessibility industry, called, for want of a better word, the people that are employed in the accessibility, doing accessibility, there is a fair representation of women compared to other, uh, sections of the
Yeah,
workforce.
yeah,
So.
yeah,
uh,
especially, yeah.
Which I think is a positive. I was just trying to think because at Tetralogical, well, there's four directors, two of them are women. There's Leonie and Henny, and then we have about we have 15 other employees, 16 other, well, 16, sorry, 14 other employees. Sorry, I can't remember what the number is, but probably about half of them are women. So it's reasonable in that sense. Um, my wife's home, which is good. She works at a local university, and then but she only has to go in a couple of days a week, so she works from home otherwise. Uh, sorry, it's just like, you know,
It's great.
seems like I'm
I'm
sitting
learning
in the
new
middle,
things.
the middle of the of the a thoroughfare here. Okay, so just hold on 1 second because I've just got to tell my wife.
Okay,
Her name's Blanca, by the way. I need to tell her that the dog and the two cats. We've got two cats and a dog, and none of them have been fed yet. So I'll just tell her. I'll be back in a second. Blanca, I haven't fed the animals. Like, okay, yeah. All right, done that. Okay, there's Sharon, and then do you know who the next person is?
I do, but their name is slipping me. I know the.
Sin,
Say it again.
Sin, Cynthia, Cynthia Shelley.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
I saw. Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
of course.
Cynthia's someone that's been around, well, like myself has been around for years, like you too. Um, she's
Yes,
become more active. She's recently moved to Amsterdam, and it's obviously a refugee from the American fascist regime. But she's getting back into. I mean, she's worked in web standards and accessibility for probably longer than I have, and she's getting more involved in again in the actual web standards work, so she's popping up everywhere.
very
Everywhere I
cool.
go, every meeting I go to of the W3C meetings or whatever, she's there. So
Nice.
so that's nice. Yeah, it's nice to see her. And I had a chat with her a month or so back. Moving on to the next person.
The next row is my dear friend Angela Hooker, who I think most recently have been with Microsoft. I'm not sure quite what she's up to right this second.
I've
Um,
actually met Angela a number of times. I haven't seen her for years, but when I was ages ago, I developed a tool called the Web Accessory Toolbar, which was a plug-in for Internet Explorer, and it was very popular back in the day. And when I ran into to Angela somewhere, I think at CSUN, and she was, yeah, she was very nice to me and very complimentary about the tool at the time. But I haven't
well,
seen it for years, and I just when I was looking through LinkedIn, I saw that you were friends, or
yeah,
connected to her. So you do,
that's another one of those people who's not just a friend or not just a colleague, but as a friend,
yeah.
like I appreciate my relationship with them in the real life. Although I am notoriously terrible about staying connected to folks and in touch, but Angela is one of the folks I've been able to stay connected to throughout my career.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And she's, yeah, I mean, she's obviously been around for quite a while as well. I've been working away. And next to Angela,
Matt May,
Matt May.
I have so much deep love and just absolute magnificent respect for that man, that gentleman, and have known him a large chunk of my career. Mostly started off as a fan, which is the way it goes. Like I'm a sycophant when it comes to like the things I'm passionate about. So,
Yeah.
on the next row, I'm gonna have stories to tell
Oh,
about
excellent.
about
Yeah,
that as
well,
well. But moving on about Matt, yeah, Matt some years ago started doing office hours.
yes,
And
he talked
this
about
was,
it. Yeah.
yeah, that was at a point when in my career where I was still in the beginning of building accessibility programs and was having, you know, some heart-wrenching moments
Yep.
and like had some conversations with him that like still to this day make a difference. And so I appreciated his work, his scholarship, his you know, Matt is a white guy who's willing to say things that, folks with less power don't often get to say without a lot
Yep.
of consequences and repercussions. And so I
Well, yeah,
appreciate,
he tells the truth as he sees it, which is
yeah.
rare these days. Funny, I mean, this is total non sequitur. Well, not a total non sequitur, but somewhat. I just been thinking about the the way that the corruption and just the nastiness of those in power is actually, is more is laid bare now. Like we all know, that those people, especially, not just in the States but elsewhere, um, the people that are in power are just screwing and fucking people over, full stop, every which way. And but in the open. That's the thing, is that all this stuff goes on in the open now. And that I
Which is a
think,
good thing, quite honestly, because it shakes people out of their complacency.
well, yeah,
Um, yeah.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, Natalie, was that perhaps, this is a phase that we need to go through where the ugliness of men in particular, but the ugliness of powerful men is laid bare, and then we because in the past when we tried to sort of make a better society by controlling the use of words and things like that, that it hasn't worked because all we've done is suppress the evil shit, whereas what we really need to do is come to terms with the fact that some people are evil and deal with the reality rather than I don't know. Sorry, I'm just going off on a strange tangent now. Um,
It's
I'm
interesting.
just,
I mean, there are lots of ways to think about how to like rebuild, disrupt, recreate a world worth living in. And I think, like having the conversation um and being in conversation with folks about it is the first way to get it started. So it like, you know, there's I'm prone to say there are as many ways to be human as there are human beings. And like experience of creating, like I said, a world that's worthy of us all, um, I think is worth the work
oh yeah, it's
to
definitely
take to make it happen.
worth the work. I
Yeah.
I suppose I was just, in the end, I'm trying to be optimistic about, for as horrific as things appear at the moment, that something good will come. Well, we can only hope that something good will come. But when there's people like Matt May and yourself and Sharon, etc., in the world trying to do good stuff, then I think that we've got a fighting chance.
Yeah, there's always change is inevitable. Change, like the only thing you can count on is change. And
Yeah, I
so,
suppose. Yeah, I mean, I don't
mm,
know. I suppose the thing, because I've just turned 62, so I'm getting on, and throughout the majority of my life, things have been, the politics have been fairly the same, and there's haven't been, involved in any major wars and things like that. So, but I don't feel that the coming period is going to be as settled as the rest of my life.
good,
And yeah,
good for it. Like
yeah,
some of that calm was a mask for
yeah,
horrific things, and
yeah,
we
exactly.
can do without
And
we
I
can
think
do
that's what
without
I
the
was trying to
calm.
say um,
Yeah,
before. Yeah, was the mask has come off and we can actually see people for what they are. Um, whether, but it's amazing to me
but
that
we can also see ourselves for who we are, right?
yeah,
Like I think that's the biggest opportunity right now. It's not
yeah,
so much looking outward, but like looking inward. Who am I for this moment?
yeah. I don't know if I want to look at too deeply with
Well,
myself.
that's the call. That's what's
Yeah.
being asked of us. And you
Yes.
can't expect to root out evildoers outside of yourself if you're not willing to look at it
Look.
within
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Moving swiftly on to the person in the middle. Now,
That is
I
Julie.
don't know anything. I don't know if I've ever met her or talked to her, but she's someone that you know, obviously.
Yeah, I know her very well. We work very closely together at Nobility. Um, um, Julie is the director of accessibility services, which is the team I'm on at Nobility, and has been with Nobility for a number of years, I think. I don't know how
And
many,
what's
maybe
her
six,
role then?
I want to say. She's the director of accessibility services, so the arm of Nobility that helps organizations and companies build better web products and digital products and training and all of that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you know the person next to her?
Okay, that face looks exceedingly familiar. I want to say she is. Nope, I don't know her name.
Yeah, see, I have met this person in Toronto last October, and I did have
Toronto.
a huh? I
Toronto.
did
Is
have
is
a
she
name, but I've lost.
does she work at Fable?
I don't know. I don't know where she worked. Like I will
Diane? Is that
Alvo something. I don't know. I mean I had the name in my head, but it's just disappeared straight away. Um, so,
okay?
but I know that I think, um, yeah, I can't remember what her name is. It's totally gone. I did have it on the tip of my tongue before, but I will put her information into the article where I published
Okay, so
this.
yes, I that is Diane Co. I was
Diane Carey,
Yeah,
yes,
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 who is
thank
an
you.
engineer. Yes.
Um, yeah, I don't know anything more about her. I can't, yeah, but I
Uh,
thought that you may know the person next to her.
yes. I worked with that's John Avila, right?
Yeah.
I worked with John when I worked at Level Access a million years ago. Not a million years ago, but some time ago. One of the most brilliant lights in this space. Great, great person. I haven't talked to him in a few years, but always like deeply respected his work.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually. I think I've met him briefly, and we've appeared in the same email threads and things like that. Or
That
GitHub
makes sense.
issue thread. But yeah, I don't think I've actually spent a lot of time. Well, I don't. Yeah, I can't actually
You
remember.
might have spent some time arguing with him because he's a very opinionated character in this space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I am. That's one of the things I think getting older is that I've just lost a lot of the fight. I'm not like I spent a lot of time arguing to, the despite myself arguing about semantics and HTML and accessibility and stuff. But now I'm more sanguine, which is I think reasonable, more sanguine. Um, but yeah, I know that John has been a constant presence, and he's a big wig in level access, isn't he?
Or
Yeah,
have been. I'm not sure. I think Sean is still there. I just haven't like been in communication with him for a while.
yeah, I think he is. Uh, moving on to the bottom row.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So our first up is the great Carl Groves,
Yes.
um, who I am sycophantically in love with. Just have been absolutely um enthralled with his work my entire career. And the funny story that I was going to say is just that like um I think look, I worry that Carl thinks I'm a weirdo. I am a weirdo. I am a weirdo because
Who
every
is
time
it?
Carl,
No,
who
who
isn't
is
a
it?
weirdo?
Who isn't a weirdo?
Okay,
Carl's a fucking weirdo.
yeah, it's true. It is true. But like every time I am in his presence, I lose my words and I can't really talk, and I'm just a weirdo. So hopefully he just thinks I'm an axe murderer as opposed to like I don't know. But like I think Carl is one of the people that I have written like a fan letter to. Back in the way back in the day, Carl gave a speech to the Access Board about um uh like updating the Section 508 guidelines. I think it
Yeah,
was around the time. And it I was actually there in the room when he gave the speech because they were taking comments at CSUN, um public comments about the rule changes. And Carl just wrote them a new one in a way that just like before that I was like quite the fan, but then it was just like
yeah. He's
like
extremely
overcome, overwhelmed.
erudite, and yeah, he knows his
He
shit.
knows his shit.
His shit
Like
is solid.
he doesn't take a lot of bullshit. He speaks up, he speaks out. I really appreciate like how uh like thoughtful, um, innovative, reasoned he is while maintaining a sense of humor and not taking any bullshit.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
appreciate that. Him and Matt have that in common,
Yeah,
you know.
that does some Carl. Like I've worked with Carl and known him for quite a few years. I've worked with him in the past at TPG, like many of the people I've worked with, he worked at TPG for a number of years under Mike's tutelage, and also he's friends with Billy Gregory, and they did
Well, yeah,
the Bloke
the
in the
great,
Lumberjack back in the day, and
yeah.
yeah, so he's an interesting character. That picture there was from CSUN, and when I first saw him, I mentioned this previously, but when I first saw him, I thought he looked like Kenny Loggins. And that, so I sort of did a double take, and then I thought, oh no, it's Carl, it's not Kenny.
People told him that he looks like
Yeah, oh
Kenny.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh
funny.
yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
pulled no punches with Carl. That's
like nice. That's wonderful. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
So
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
Carl again. Carl is someone who has agreed to be interviewed. So
Oh, fun!
yeah,
Fun. You've been hitting the greats. Adrian Rosselli, I have to say, is like one of my absolute favorite people. Like not just in this space, but in the world. I could not love that person more if you gave me money for it. And so, like
I have a
that's
great affection for Adrian too. He's another person I used to work with, but
oh,
I,
great. Yeah.
even though we
Yeah.
haven't worked together for years, we keep
Yeah.
in touch, and
Yeah.
you know, we see each other at various conferences and things. I saw him at
Yeah.
Access UTO last year, and um, I like uh, I like Adrian because I'm able to call him a wanker, and he doesn't mind.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No,
He's a
yeah.
straight shooter at
I mean,
that I've always appreciated.
I have a great respect for him. That's the people that I like best, well, people that both are really good at what they do and weird enough that I get
Right.
on with them, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Me, same. Very, very much the same.
talking of weirdos, do you know who the next person is?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm probably going to mangle this, but I want to say it's Whitney Queensbury. How do you
It's
say
the
that
other
name?
one,
Oh no.
Sarah
Oh,
Horton.
Sarah Martin. Oh my God, I saw it. They're fused in my mind because of
Yeah,
their
so they
book.
wrote that they did the book together, didn't they?
Yes, yes, they did. Which I
Yeah,
have used and given to people and bought multiple times over. That's probably why the
yeah.
so I'm embarrassed, but yeah.
Web does, yeah, it's called something. But
UX for everyone, I think it's called.
yeah, a web for everyone or something. Yeah,
Yes, web for everyone. Yes.
yeah. The best thing about that book is that it's got an interview with me in it that Sarah did. Yeah, because we used to work together, of course.
Oh, delicious. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So there's a lovely picture of me and some questions at the time. Um, but yeah,
Nice.
I tell you, I think she's working at university now. She's again, I just reached out to
Teach
her.
Access too, right?
Huh?
Isn't she working with Teach Access too?
Yes, I think she may
Yeah.
be, or she was working with it, but yeah, I don't know. I contacted her today and asked if she wanted to come and have a talk, which hopefully she will. So
Lovely.
I
That'll be
might get
perfect.
her and David's. No, I won't get her and David Sloan on as double act. Um, I'll do them separately. I'm not sure whether Dave Sloan would actually want to be interviewed by me at the moment because I was inadvertently I'd stirred up a bit of shit about people getting leaving TPG, my old workplace. So there's some, but anyway, uh, yes, that's Sarah. And she just put out recently a new book with David Sloan about accessibility and web development, etc.
Interesting. Okay, great. I don't think
And
you always wear that.
the next person,
Eric, and his last name is killing me, but I think
Agate.
it's Eggert. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's why I
I'm
did
terrible about people's
that
last
really
names.
cheap pun about calling him the accessibility egg. Because
Yeah,
usually when I refer to him, like to when I'm chatting to my friends, I call him Eggy. So
that's hilarious.
it's an affectionate term. He's a
Eh,
really nice guy.
That's
He's
fantastic.
another person.
Eric
Oh,
is one of those folks in the work that like I know because of folks that I know, but I don't think I've ever actually had a like personal conversation with him.
yeah, yeah,
But like deeply respect his work, his perspective, and all of that jazz. He's doing awesome stuff. So far as I can tell, but like we have not, like made IRL friends. I think we're
yeah,
connected um on LinkedIn, and I'm actually connected to loads of folks
yeah,
in the space, partially because when I started this work, there were so few
yeah.
um people, it felt like, who were doing it. And my mom thought I was a front for terrorist activity. It's like, you do what, baby? Like, and especially in the beginning when I was scraping out a career out of nothing, out of actual nothing because I loved it and I wanted to make a difference. Um, and so, like in the beginning, I was anybody who was doing accessibility, I was just like, I wanted to follow them. I wanted to see the work. I wanted to try to learn from them. I wanted to connect with them. I wanted to see if everybody was having the same problems I was having, you know. And so I just, like became a sort of open networker on LinkedIn for people. And it just like spiraled, spiraled. Uh, and it's been wonderful. Like I get to folks reach out to me from all over the world. I get to talk to them about their work and provide insight where I can. Sometimes get to connect folks to each other, which is fabulous. Like I get to see what's going on all over the world, sometimes in ways that keep me emboldened, even when things are looking a little bleak closer to
Yep.
home. So, yeah, just to say, I know Eric sort of through that process of wanting to stay connected with folks is fantastic work, and not necessarily personally.
I I've had a similar well view that the amount of people involved in the accessibility space over the period of time I've been working has grown exponentially. But
Exponentially. It's
for the
crazy.
better though, that's the thing, especially I mean
I'm actually ecstatic about it. Ecstatic about it. What I'm not as ecstatic about is the barriers to entry that have come along. Like I
what
would
sort of
never,
barriers?
like I think there's IAP
Oh,
certification is it's interesting. I've like been part of the whole conversation since the beginning of it. I had certification. I let it lapse a couple of years ago. I had it for almost a decade, but it's like having having job requirements, you know reference IAP certification is really interesting. There are people who have been doing accessibility for 20, 30, 40 years now who like that work is not as powerful as, as getting certification in some, for certain
you think
jobs.
that the having the certification will give you uh, the opportunities that experience and skills won't.
I think that folks who are the by and large, the folks who make certification a requirement are using it as a proxy for experience, given that
Yes.
they don't want to understand the depth and nuance of the space.
Yep.
And it's not it, it's not often a one-to-one correlation between, like depth of experiences and having certification.
As a now I'm in a position where I actually involved in the employment of people.
Me
Um,
too.
we don't, yeah, we don't expect or require anybody to have a certification. I mean, because most of us that are involved at Tetralogical have worked in the space for years before there was certifications, but also that while they, it's like any qualification. Like I've got a bachelor's degree, but it does fuck all for my work. It may have helped me, to uh, think logically or think, each, well, whatever the words are. To it may have helped my thinking processes to provide insights into the accessibility of stuff, but I definitely wasn't trained. It definitely didn't provide that. Yeah, it's the whole certification thing is interesting because I know somebody who is has a IAP certificate, and just the hoops they got to jump through to keep it current.
Oh
Like,
my God, that's part of the reason why I stepped out of it is not, like it's what it's a a little bit over $1,100 to get certification. If you're not a member, I think maybe $900 if you are a member.
Yeah, right.
Um, but either way, it's ungodly expensive, right? Especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah.
And then if you to maintain it, the hoops and who what you have to go through to maintain it is just absolutely ridiculous. They recently changed the rules to make it a little bit easier to maintain um the certification because otherwise you have to be speaking 4 or 5 times a year.
Oh,
Like
really?
it was
Well, I mean,
madness.
all I heard about was that you've got to do a certain amount of approved courses or
Yeah,
webinars or whatever, but you need to take like screenshots of throughout the time that you're watching something, and I was thinking, anyway, I mean, it just seems like it just seems like a lot of administrative overhead. But having said that, um, well, not having said that, because it sounds like we're going to say something positive, but one of the things is that I'm starting to find that organisations that come and are interested in paying for our accessibility services, um, part of their in some instances they require IAAP certification, and I ain't just I'm just too long in the tooth to be able to to do that. And also, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I work with people and such as Patrick who are involved in maintaining and updating all the WCAG
right,
documentation. I mean,
right.
yeah, I mean it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the same time, I can see I'm not. I don't want to shit on people who do get
No,
this
no, no. I think
certification or
I think
do.
it makes a difference, right?
Yeah,
Like, and I'm excited that the folks want to deepen their experience. I'm
yeah,
excited that it's an avenue, you know. But like I wish that it weren't such like a gatekeeping
yeah. Well, yeah.
function.
I've got a couple of. Adrian did a shirt design which I published, which I put on my store, which was I can't remember. I'll find it. But it's about certification. It's obviously not a positive statement about certification. Um, okay, so we'll skip over you because you're there, but it's a particularly nice
And
photo.
I do want to say that I've been trying to scrub the internet of this particular image
Really?
to
Why?
find it because, like, number one, it's like 10 years old, so I look like a fresh-faced baby. And then also, it's like it's not, it's like not very professional, and the background's not great. But
I
okay,
thought it's a
fine.
great photo. You look
I'm
great,
glad you think so.
and you've got a smiling face, and I just noticed that it's the same picture that's in your background here. So you obviously were you in the same room or were you in a different room? Well, no, because the
Yeah, it was my bedroom in San Francisco, or like not
okay,
in Oakland when I lived in Oakland. Yeah.
because the wall
That's
color is
another thing.
different.
It's like my bedroom, like
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys see, there's the pillows of a bed behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a fold out bed I have in my office for occasions when I want to have a bit of a rest. Anyway, I I'm sorry I used a photo that you
No,
don't
no,
like.
don't worry. It's totally fine. I'm like for a while, this was one of the better pictures. Because I'm notoriously horrifying at taking pictures. So for a while, this was the headshot I was using for everything. So I can understand why it would be easy to find and add to the,
Yeah,
grid.
well, yeah. I mean, I just look, to find anything I can. Do you know who this person is? Sorry, the person next to you.
Yes, that face looks incredibly familiar.
Her name is Bettina Arndt. I don't know anything else about her. I just, well,
I think I'm-
I've seen her
I
on
think I know them
LinkedIn.
because of my connection to them on LinkedIn, but not personally.
That's
Yeah,
my well, I don't even know. I just see that they do things. They seem to be involved in using AI quite a bit. But also it's just because that picture, which is the picture that they always use, looks about 12 years old. I'm just thinking,
right.
I'm just thinking, I know people are getting younger, but it's just yeah. I thought you actually could, because you were connected on LinkedIn. I thought you might know a bit more about it. What is that?
This is Callie, I am their emotional support person, and so they are. If I'm sitting down, they are probably going to be.
Is it a cat? I can't
It
see
is
it.
a
I can
cat.
just
It's
yeah.
she's a very cat.
How old is she?
She's about 3 years old. No,
Oh,
yeah,
still
three and a
quite
half
young
years
then.
old. Yeah, she's a
Lovely.
baby.
My daughter has two cats. Well, we look after them, but they belong to my daughter. And happily, the dog and the two cats all get on together. So we've got a pretty happy household in regards to the animals. But
That's lovely. I have two cats, and they do not like each other very much at all. It's hard work.
yeah, it is. I mean, we had our dog first, and then my daughter wanted a cat. So we got one cat, and we thought, you know, hopefully the dog and the cat would get on. Because when my dog sees a cat outside, it just goes mad. But here, it's absolutely fine. We actually catch them sort of kissing each other, the dog Lola and one of the cats. So that's nice. But yeah, it's all very peaceful and no aggression. But both of the cats are just very chilled, like the dog, like me. So it's just all, yeah, it's all really chill.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, so what do you do day to day, job wise?
Okay, it really depends. I do whatever I'm told, whatever I'm asked to do. So that might look like scoping client projects or doing audits. It might look like um, business development stuff, working on fixing the website, right? Or we're working on a web design redesign right now, and so I'll be um, contributing code to that. You
So
know,
yeah, lots of.
networking, grant stuff. Hmm?
So do you actually deal? So you deal with customers, clients, or on a regular basis?
Yes,
And how do you find that?
it's interesting. It's interesting. I do love I do love building things. I do love building digital products. I love that whole process. And so it's interesting to sort of be on the outside of of a development team,
Yeah.
sort of trying to provide support and uh yeah. Yeah.
So if you were talk to someone, or someone came to you and said they were interested in getting into accessibility, what would your advice be?
People come to me all the time, and ask the same question or are doing adjacent things and are like, how can I infuse more or like how can I break into the accessibility work? And what I tell folks is to um there's a lot more internet than there is accessibility. So there's always going to be an opportunity to make a difference. And that, it, you know, the words in the job title do not need to um, dictate your level of advocacy, interest, or involvement in building quality products that work for everyone. And so we usually look at ways that they can support or under like backstop folks who are doing the work within their organization or getting the conversation started in their within their organization. It might look like, folks will ask me, I'm thinking about going back to school, like would this make a difference for this? Or it's really more a question of what are you interested and excited about? What are you passionate about? And get more and more experience you know, and exposure inside of that. I mean, there's lots, just like with anything, right? There's lots of ways to be involved in tech, right? There,
Yeah.
building things, you could be designing things, you could be QAing things, you could be, you could be doing all kinds of things. And every single one of those roles, every single role has a place um, in whether or not the end product works for a broad range of folks, whether it's accessible, whether it's usable, whether it's quality and good. And so, like get real interested in what it takes to build excellent shit and build excellent shit in ways that make you most excited. It's kind of the gist of the conversation that I tell folks. It's like, what are you excited about? Are like, what are you excited about?
Yeah.
Me, like, yeah. I
Yes.
like standards and specs and rules and processes and agile and like I like code and so
So if you
what
like specs and standards and things, are you keeping up with, or are you interested in WCAG 3?
it's been uh I've been following the progress, keeping abreast of it, very, very interested. Interested to see how it goes, like how it's going. I love this sort of like getting inside baseball information on how it's going and what kinds of fights are coming out of it and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like for me, that's the World Series or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I,
what's
I
going
I
on?
know what you mean. I mean, I attend the accessory guidelines work group meetings and are and tangentially involved in WCAG 3, mostly observational at this point in time.
Yeah,
But it's a big motherfucker of a thing to actually, and so there's lots of complexity. That's why I chew on. I've currently over the last year I've been chewing on the WCAG EM, which is the evaluation methodology,
yeah,
because that's something that at least
yeah.
it's a
Kind of
bit of
yeah,
the but it's something that we
yeah,
can actually improve and get out there. It's the same stuff like. I could understand why Pat and others who were involved in the update of the voluminous the amounts of documentation that support WCAG 2.2. And I
mhm,
also think, which I keep saying this, I also think it's a really important thing to actually, because a lot of those documents were substandard and didn't reflect current, like they
yeah,
stuff, like you look at a Technique document, it's still talking about applets. When when there was the last time you saw an applet in a web page, or anywhere really.
exactly. Right.
You know, so making those documents relevant and up to date is an important thing, and improving the content accessibility guidelines, but also to get the reality of how the web content accessibility guidelines are used for the testing and conformance of non-web applications. I think that's a really important thing because it's a real it happens anyway, and
Absolutely.
and it's being referenced by you legislation in Europe and elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
So I'm very
absolutely.
positive about doing that, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do was work on that WCAG EM to actually um, remove make it more tech agnostic, or
Yes,
because
brilliant.
that's the way it's been used. Um,
Absolutely.
so what's the next 6 months got for you? Anything exciting?
Well, like I said, we've got Access U coming up in May, and that's exciting. I'm looking to uh present around vibe coding and accessibility.
Ooh.
Um, so we'll see if my proposal gets accepted. But
Oh, is that a
that,
proposal you put in for Access U?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah, yeah. Um, and
Are the
I know the people on the inside, so maybe I'll have a,
yeah,
I don't know.
are the presentations are they made available is it
Um,
recorded? Are they made available outside? Like for someone who doesn't go, such as myself.
I think there are some of the main like the keynotes and some particular conversations are like main panels are on YouTube, but I'm not
Uh-huh.
sure. I'm not sure. I know that there's a
And how many,
that there's
what's the
recording.
usual attendance? I mean, how many people come along to this?
Ooh, good question. I wanna, it's a smaller conference, maybe like 600 people max, something
Oh,
like that.
that's a reasonable size.
Maybe like
Yeah.
yeah, right around there. Yeah.
There's enough people to have a good time with. That's,
Absolutely.
do you
Absolutely.
do remote as well as can you?
Yeah, you can attend XSU remotely. There are some virtual sessions and like full day workshops, I think, that also happen um or that have happened in the past virtually. So you can expect that to show up as well. They just released the first like who's going to be doing some of the keynotes, I think. I want to lie to you about that, but it started releasing content about what Access Year is going to be like this year.
So they already have or they're about to.
Uh, they're starting the process of making that available. Let me see. I don't see that. Uh, I guess the roster is not quite out
Well,
yet, but still,
have to
it'll
make sure
the
yeah,
conference schedule will start going up, and it's like for an accessibility conference, it's a great price. Like these things are tended to be super
expensive.
duper expensive,
Yeah.
uh, and
What is the
like
price?
you have to how's it goes is um so early bird ticketing, which is happening right now, through March. And so you can do a standard ticket, um, with everything included. So that's access to the pre-conference and all the sessions for $8.95, or you can do just general access to everything for $6.49. That's the standard pricing, but it goes down to $7.95 and $5.44 and until May or until March the 12th. So
Cool. Well,
yeah.
what I'll do is when I publish this interview, I will put information about Access U, etc. on because I usually have this.
Wonderful.
Huh?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I usually have a list of things, but we've been speaking for a good hour now, Natalie. So it's probably time. Oh, cool. I will. Yeah, because what I do, if you've got any other links and things that you would like me to share,
Okay.
please send them along because I usually have a list of of stuff related to, what
Perfect. We'll do.
we
We'll
discuss.
do.
Well, thank you for your time. It's gone very quickly, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's been,
It's always great to talk to you. Thank you for your
and
work.
it's good to talk to you. And I will, as I said, I'll send you the link for you. I think it was, apart from me swearing a bit, there was nothing really, which is just, yeah, what I do. There's nothing really that you'll be worried about, but I'll ping you over the link to the thing, and then I'll let you know when it gets published on my blog site.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for agreeing. And hopefully we'll get to see each other in person again at some point. You
Hopefully.
should go
I'm trying
to,
to make my way over to Europe actually. So
yeah, well, if you do
yeah.
come over to Europe, let me know because
Okay.
I'd love to see you.
Okay, great.
Also, yeah, as I said, I'm not planning on going to uh, the US, but I would like to go to XSVTO again this in Canada.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great conference actually.
yeah,
It's
it
one of my
is.
yeah,
It is. It
yeah,
is. And it's just nice. I mean, I get to see people, but, friends, new friends and old friends.
yeah,
That's sort of thing.
exactly.
But yeah, thank you again. Talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
Oh, wait there, I forgot. I meant to say to you, as part of your appearance, you get to choose something from the HTMLZ store. Choose anything you like, but just tell me, yeah, like t-shirt or whatever. Just tell me size,
Okay.
etc. And then because I don't do it through
Okay.
the store, I do it through the fulfillment. Okay, so let me know
Okay.
what design, size, color you want, and will
I
and
can't wait. Thank you.
your
Thank you.
address, and I will send a
Thank you.
gift out to you. So thanks again, Natalie. Look after yourself. Say hi to Sharon for me,
I will.
and good luck with getting your presentation accepted at Access U. I'll put in a good word for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Have a good one.
bye.
Bye.